gamers, welcome back to Fizzy MTG, guys. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the first commander deck I ever built. It's in a purple boulder, and it's in purple sleeves, and it's Obscura. So we're going to take a look at this. This is the deck, I mean, obviously not quite the way I think that he would build it, but this is the deck that I suggested Mr. Josh Lee Kwai build because it just does fun things that I know he is a fan of. So we're gonna zoom on in here, and we're gonna start off. We're gonna here we're gonna lay this to the side here, and we'll start with the commander right here, Queza, Augar of Agonies. Very simple little card. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Very simple. That is the commander, and that's what I built around. Next, we're going to take a look at the land base. And I do have a question for you guys, because this is my first ever commander deck. So, you know, apologies if I have gotten anything wrong here. Hold on, I'm just collecting all the lands here. Making sure I got them all. Here we go. One moment. Okay, so let's go over the lands. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 islands. Basic islands. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basic plains. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 basic swamps. Not a ton. And then we've got a dual land, just a nice indestructible artifact land, could be useful. We've got a white-blue land here. Another a blue-black. We got a black-white, blue-white, a blue-black, white-black, blue-white. We've got Thriving Heath, which is white or any mana of the chosen color. And we've got this, which is blue, and you can sacrifice it to do 2 blue mana. Gateway Plaza enters tapped, and you can use it basically unless you pay 1 or whatever. Wait, sacrifice it unless you pay 1. And you can tap for any color. Now, this is what I don't know, right? I put Broker's Hideout in here because essentially it says it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic forest, plains, or island. Now, I know I can't use plains. Oh, sorry, forests. But I can use plains or islands. But it doesn't have that color symbol, so I'm assuming this is okay. Please let me know if it is not, because again, I'm new to Commander. There's a couple of these. Broker's Hideout, Having Goal Laboratory, and not a couple of those. There's Obscura, which is the right color. Rafine's Tower, which is the right color. But there's also Maestro, which lets me search for an island, a swamp, or mountain. So I'm assuming these are okay, but if they're not, please let me know so I can remove them. Transguild Promenade, and that is the sort of land base, which I believe there is a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 lands. So, yeah. You guys might be thinking that's a little light, and you might be correct. Again, this is my first commander deck, so give me some slack, or give me some pro tips, guys. But now we're going to go through the actual cards, the meat of the deck, if you will. Starting with Wishclaw Talisman. It is 1 in a black artifact. When it enters the battlefield, it enters with 3 wish counters on it. You can pay 1 and tap, remove a wish counter from Wishclaw Talisman, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. An opponent gains control of Wishclaw Talisman. Activate this ability only during your turn. So I could just basically search for a card and give it to an opponent, which I know might not be the best for, 2 opponents are going to get something for free. That's awesome. And then we've got a 5-drop, 3, a white and a black, flying creature Thrall. With when Grasping Thrall enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. You gain 2 life. So, a little pinging action there. Agent of Masks, it's a 5-drop, 3, a white and a black. Human Advisor, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. We wanted life gain shenanigans and card draw shenanigans, since our commander does things when we gain, when we draw a card, we gain life, they lose a life. So I wanted to go with that theme. We've got a Blood Bond Vampire. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Blood Bond Vampire, so you can kind of see the synergy starting to build a little bit here. We've got a Psionic Snoop. It's a 3-drop. Sorry, the Vampire was a 4-drop, by the way. It's a 3-drop, 2 and a blue. Flash, when Sonic Snoop enters the battlefield, it connives. Connives means you draw a card. Discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So we can draw and they get bigger if I discard non-land creatures. And then we got Case the Joint, which lets me draw 2 cards and look at the top card of each player's library. Really, really useful. It's a 4-drop instant. We've got an Orzhov Locket, which, a little bit of ramp, and we can sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. So that can be really useful for us there. We've got Ayara, First of Lochthwain. I think this is a really good card for this deck. Legendary creature, Elf Noble. When Ayara, First of Lochthwain, or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And I can tap, sacrifice another black creature, draw a card. So there's a little card draw engine that also helps me gain life and let them lose life, which is really good. And then we've got Kamiz, Obscura Oculus, which is a 4-drop, 1 a white, a blue, and a black. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. It connives. Then choose another attacking creature with lesser power. That creature gains double strike until the end of turn. So, conniving, double striking, very useful. Debt to the Deathless. This is a X and then 4 mana, 2 white, 2 black. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So remember that. Gain life equal to the life lost this way. So what I'm assuming that means is, say, my opponents all lose 6 life each. Well, then I gain 18 life if I'm playing a 4-player game. And this card could come in handy because there's a card in this deck that says if I gain 18 life, my opponents then lose 18 life. So that's going to be really useful. Fairy Vandal. I love this card for this deck. It's a flying 2-drop, 1 in a blue. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Fairy Vandal. So card draw can help pump this flying creature, which is really good, and it has flash. Cruel Celebrant. It's just a 2-drop, a white and a black. Whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, death triggers, very useful. Cloud Blazer, it's a 5-drop, 3, a white and a blue, flying. When Cloud Blazer enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. That can be really useful in the card draw life gain deck. Vermin Gorger, 1 and a black, vampire. Tap, sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. More sacrifice triggers, which is really useful. Disciple of the Sun, Lifelink. It's a 5-drop, 4 and a white. When Disciple of the Sun enters the battlefield, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. So, recursion, very useful. 5-drop, 3, a black and a black. Search your library for a card, then put that card in your hand, then shuffle your library. It's also got cycling for a black. Useful little tutor, I imagine, is what that's called, right? Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose, legendary vampire cleric. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And I can pay 3, a black and a black. Creature you control gains lifelink until the end of turn. So you could see this being really useful in a deck like this, potentially. Elite Guard Mage, 4 mana. It's 2, a white and a blue. Flying. Elite Guard Mage enters the battlefield. You gain 3 life and draw a card. Again, could potentially deal damage with that. This is a 5-drop enchantment. 3, a black and a black. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So, another trigger for that. Very useful. Another 5-drop right here. Blood Baron of Vizkopa. It is 3, a white and a black. Lifelink, protection from white and from black. As long as you have 30 or more life and an opponent has 10 or less life, Blood Baron of Vizkopa gets +6/+6 and has flying. So, in my book, this is a solid as heck card. Hopefully these are well in focus for you guys. I really hope so. It's kind of tricky to tell. Apologies if I'm sniffling a little bit. My nose is a little runny right now. Denitha, Capasian Paragon. It is a 2 and a white, legendary creature, human knight. First strike, vigilance, lifelink. Aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, which is really useful. A little 2-drop. Revitalize, which is very simple 2-drop. Gain 3 life, draw a card. Again, you could see kind of how this could be really useful in a deck like this. So, very nice. Silver Smoke Ghoul. Pretty cool little 3-drop. I can't tell if these are in focus well. I really hope that they are. but I can't tell. So, fingers crossed. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, return Silver Smoke Ghoul from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. 1 in a black, sacrifice Silver Smoke Ghoul, draw a card. You can see why I would put that in the deck. Potentially, at least my thought process. Again, feel free to roast me in the comments if you guys don't think this is good. Flying Lifelink, this is a 2-drop bird citizen. Pay 3 and a white. You and target opponent each draw a card. So I thought that could be useful. And, you know, you got a little bargaining tool there. Extraction Specialist, it's 2 and a white with Lifelink. When Extraction Specialist enters the battlefield, return target creature with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. That creature can't attack or block for as long as you control Extraction Specialist. So just a little bit of recursion, but that could be a very useful effect to have. Security Bypass. This is a 2-drop, 1 in a blue enchantment aura. Enchant creature as long as the enchanted creature is attacking alone. It can't be blocked. Enchanted creature has whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, it connives. Which you guys know what that does. We got good old Congregate. I think this card is a little bit underrated sometimes. It is a 4-drop instant. Says target player, sorry, it's 3 and a white. Target player gains 2 life for each creature on the battlefield. Now, if I'm fighting a Squirrel Token deck and my opponent's got 30 creatures, I'm going to be gaining 60 life. And if that one spells out, yeah, they're going to be losing 60 life and I'm going to win the game with this card and Sanguine Bond alone. You're welcome. Also, we've got Blood Host. This is a 3 black and a black creature vampire with pay 1 and a black, sacrifice another creature, put a 1/1 counter on Blood Host, and you gain 2 life. Again, another pinger that pumps and also lets me sack creatures for good stuff. White of the Precinct 6. White of Precinct 6, sorry. It's a 1 and a black creature zombie. Whenever, let's see, White of Precinct 6 gets +1/+1 for each creature in your opponent's graveyards. So, very, very potentially useful. Uh-oh. Hold on. We dropped a couple cards here. We got a good old Phantasmal Dreadmaw. Trample when Phantasmal Dreadmaw becomes a target of spell or ability, sacrifice it. Pretty sick. We've got a Johnny's Pridemate. Let's see, it is 1 and a white. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on a Johnny's Pridemate. Life gain pumps the creature. Very useful. Defiant Bloodlord, it's a 7-drop, 5, a black and a black flying vampire. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Once again, pinging our opponents for everything we gain. Very, very useful. Public Enemy, pay 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. All creatures attack enchanted creature's controller each combat if able. When enchanted creature dies, draw a card. You can see how that card could be really useful. Public Enemy. I don't know if I read the name. Ornithopter of Paradise. Any of you that know this card know exactly what I'm putting in the deck. It's just a 2-drop flying tap for add 1 mana of any color, 0/2. Yeah. Now, it is a creature, so, you know, easy to remove, but it's also an artifact. It could be useful. Dwarven Priest, 3 and a 1 white, sorry. When Dwarven Priest enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Could be really helpful if my board's pretty big. It's also a 2/4. Tavern Swindler, this card is one of my favorite for this deck. 1 and a black for a human rogue. You can tap, pay 3 life, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life. So basically, if I lose life, no big deal, and you'll find out why soon. And if I gain life, I could potentially use that to burn my opponents for 6 life each, which is insane. We've got a Vizkopa Guild Mage. It is a white and a black, and then it's a human wizard. I can pay 1 a white and a black, target creature gains lifelink until the end of turn, or I can pay 1 a white and a black. Whenever I gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. Stacking these triggers can be so painful from all the other creatures I have in this deck. Shakedown Heavy, I actually really, really like this card as well. 2 and a black. It is an Ogre Warrior with Menace. Whenever Shakedown Heavy attacks, defending player may have you draw a card. If they do, untap Shakedown Heavy and remove it from combat. It is a 6/4 for 3 with Menace. That is an insanely good creature, and its effect is amazing. We've got Death Grasp, X, a white and a black. Death Grasp deals X damage to target creature or player. You gain X life. Again, that life can also ping. And it's one of my favorite cards in the whole set of the new Capenna stuff. Suspicious Bookcase. It is an artifact creature wall with Defender. Pay 3 and tap. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. It's like Rogue's Passage, but it's a regular artifact, and I freaking love that. We've got a Gifted Aetherborn. It's just a black and a black with Death Touch and Lifelink. Just a nice little 2/3. Not a bad card at all, I don't think. We've got Tola's Clever Conductor. It has a... what is that? Arzorius, a blue, or a Dimir that you can pay. One of, hybrid, so you can pay a white, a blue, and a black. You can play 3 blue. You can pay a blue, and a black. You can spice it up out, whatever mana you got. So useful. Whenever Tola's Clever Conductor enters the battlefield, it connives. Whenever you discard one or more cards, exile them from your graveyard. Whenever it dies, put the cards exiled this way into the owner's hand. So, very useful, because, your connived cards basically get exiled, and then you can put them back in your hand later, which is, oh my god, potentially very useful. Inspiring Overseer, pay 2 and a white. Flying, when Inspiring Overseer enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So, again, you can see how this would be good. Vampire Scrivener, remember when I said paying life doesn't hurt us? Well, this is why. Flying, whenever you gain life during your turn, put a 1/1 counter on Vampire Scrivener. Oh, nice. Whenever you lose life during your turn, put a 1/1 counter on Vampire Scrivener. And if you get many triggers going off at a time, this guy or girl can get really big real quick, and it's so good. Dovin's Acuity. It's 1 a white and a blue. Enchantment, when Dovin's Acuity enters the battlefield. I think I'm saying that right. You gain 2 life and draw a card. Whenever you cast an instant spell during your main phase, you may return Dovin's Acuity to its owner's hand. Let me know in the comments if I'm saying that wrong. We've got a Nocturnal Feeder. It's just 2 and a black. When Nocturnal Feeder dies, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Very, very useful. Scavenger Drake. A friend of mine uses this card in a deck, and it used to destroy me all the time. I love this card. It's 3 and a black for a flying Drake. Whenever another creature is put into a graveyard from play, you may put a 1/1 counter on Scavenger Drake. That can be so useful. You'd be surprised. Demon's Due, I love this card as well. It's a 4-drop, 3 and a black. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Again, that puts a 1/1 counter on Vampire Scrivener, so we like losing that life if it's on the field. Marauding Blight Priest, also just an obvious kind of include, I think, for this deck. 2 and a black. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. It's maybe not a lot, but it's a 3/2. It's not bad. It's 3 mana. I love this card as well, just in general. This is a good old Merfolk. Shout out to the professor. We got 1 in a blue. Merfolk Wizard. You can tap, add colorless. Spend this only to cast an instant or sorcery. Still, it's ramp, and I love ramp. We've got Disentomb for 1 black mana. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. A little bit of recursion. We've got Shattered Seraph. It's 4 a white, a blue, and a black for an Angel Rogue. Flying, when Shattered Seraph enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. Pay 2, exile Shattered Seraph from your hand. Target land gains add white, blue, or black until Shattered Seraph is cast from exile. You may cast Shattered Seraph from exile as long as it remains exiled. Or cast it as long as, yeah. Sanguine Spy for 2 and a black, Menace and Lifelink. Very nice. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature. Look at the top card of your library. You may put the card into your graveyard. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Again, could be really useful. A little bit of graveyard shenanigans in here. We've got a Hedron Archive. I know, guys, it's 4 mana, but you can tap it for 2 colorless, so I think it's worth it. You can pay 2 and tap, sacrifice Hedron Archive, draw 2 cards. Also, guys, I don't have Soul Ring. I have to build the deck kind of cheaply. So, forgive me for not being optimal. Oh, see what I did? Sorry. This is a 1-drop. Scry 1, draw a card. You know how it does. It's good. I really like this card as well. Oneirophage, I think is how you say that. 3 and a blue for a Squid Illusion. Flying, whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Oneirophage. Very good. Child of Night, classic 2-drop, 2/1 vampire with lifelink. This is a really good card. I think it's a 2-drop called Azure Mage. Just 1 and a blue. And you get 3 and a blue. You can pay 3 and a blue to draw a card. So, when you get a lot of excess mana, so useful. Hedron Crawler, it's a 2-drop with tap, add colorless to your mana pool. Again, that can help pay for that other spell. It's so useful. I wanted this boy just because I like him. There's probably a better card, but I didn't care. It's a 5-drop, 9/3 legendary Frog Spirit. You're going to have to forgive me on this one, guys. He's too good. I like him. One for Brainstorm. You know, just draw 3 cards, put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So useful. Crypt Incursion. Interesting little card here. It pay 2 and a black. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way. Again, if we have stackable triggers, we can ping our opponents to death with this card. Arvid the Cursed, 3, a white and a black. Legendary creature, Vampire Knight. Death Touch, Lifelink. Other legendary creatures you control get +2/+2, and he's a 3/3. Not bad at all. We've got a Tolarian Kraken. It's 4, a blue and a blue. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. When you do, you may tap or untap target creature. And it's a 4/6, so I just think the utility for this card is worth it because of what it allows us to do. Gives us a little bit of, like, you know, helpful kind of, like, I don't know, positioning of other boards. This is a 2-drop Human Cleric, 1 and a white. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Just, again, useful life gain synergies. Love this card. Psychic Pickpocket. It's a 5-drop, 4 and a blue. When Psychic Pickpocket enters the battlefield, it connives. When it connives this way, return up to 1 non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So it's a bounce effect either for us or against our opponents. And Epicure of Blood. It's a 5-drop, 4 and a black, vampire. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So that is the deck, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this deck. And how would you have built it? Did I do a decent job for my first deck? What are some obvious changes, improvements, includes that you guys think? Is there better budget options for some cards that I know I could use? Something that wouldn't be super expensive. Or, like, if you could build this deck and break the bank, what would be the way you would build this deck? I am so excited to hear from you guys in the comments. Please let me know. I love doing these videos. This is my first Commander deck. It's kind of hard to shuffle here. Yeah, this is my first ever Commander deck. And I want to get into Commander. I'm going to get some gameplay for you guys on this channel eventually. I'm working on it. I don't know how well the audio is going to sound in this video because I'm trying something a bit different. But I really hope you guys enjoy. If you do, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good junk. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next one. Later! Woo!